Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Linda Ronstadt, The Sound of My Voice. And this is a new documentary. It seems very popular this year to be doing a lot of documentaries on musical artists from this time period. And after seeing Echoes in the Canyon and the David Crosby one, I saw the trailer for this and I'm like, I know Blue Bayou, and You're No Good, but I don't know much about Linda Ronstadt. And I thought it was interesting watching the trailer and them saying she's like the Beyonce of that era. I'm like, was she really that big? And apparently she was. And one small thing about this, I used to watch infomercials a lot in like middle school, high school for all those like Guthrie Ranker like DVD box sets of like either CDs or DVDs, and I used to watch the one for the Midnight Special all the time, and that exact clip from her singing You're No Good on the Midnight Special infomercials was at the very beginning of this documentary. I'm like, oh, brings back memories. But, side note, but watching this documentary, it's like, this gives a very interesting look into this woman who was extremely talented and had an amazing voice and made such a big impact and was such a personality at a time in music where it's like women didn't really get to set the tone for themselves really in this, and she was very ambitious and did a lot of different kinds of things. And there's a lot of cool stuff they talked about in terms of her life, like her doing some pirate opera with Kevin Kline. I was like, what? And her doing whole albums like with Aaron Neville, doing whole Spanish language albums because that was her heritage, and her just being like, I'm going to do this. And throughout the film, you get these interviews with other people like Dolly Parton, Emmylou Harris, and Jerry Brown, former governor of California, and really getting insight into who she was. And I thought it was really cool that they had specific interviews from her and really getting a chance to see her personality and seeing where she was coming from. And then ever so often throwing in like interview from her from now and adding some perspective. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't know much about her career and why she kind of just fell off. And finding that out was actually pretty sad, and realizing how big of an impact and how big of a talent she was and an artist, and realizing like she can't do it anymore. And listening to some of the music that they actually played of her, it was really impressive listening to how great of a voice she had, a powerful voice. And I think some of the most interesting things was listening to her peers, and some of the best dialogue was definitely from Dolly Parton talking about their differences in ideology when it comes to music. And it's just a really interesting documentary. It's well put together. It has a lot of layers. It's not like a ambitious experimental kind of documentary, but it does enough to really engage you and paint a very interesting picture of a very interesting woman. And I'd really recommend this, especially if you love music of this time period. It's a very empowering documentary about this woman, and it's a great time. Go check it out. I got to see it at one of the indie theaters near me, but it is popping up around the area, both indie theaters and at some of the AMCs in the area. So go find it. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. And thank you as always for supporting your Wasteland reviewer.